Everybody, I've got a WYZE 3 camera over here, and I don't really like the white case. They stopped making the black case. It was a temporary deal. You can't get it anymore. And I know there's some videos on there on how to make it black. Some people put tape on there. I don't want to put tape on there. I'm not worried about the cost of the camera. The camera's cheap. If I need to replace it, that's not a big issue. I don't want to put tape on here because then I'm going to have residue. I don't want residue on the camera that I have to clean off, which means I'm going to have to put alcohol and cleaners on there. I don't want to deal with that. There's some guy who's got like a 9-minute video on how to use some rubber spray. I don't want to put rubber spray in here. This is going to stay indoors in a window. And I'm sure the rubber spray is fine. I don't like the idea of encapsulating a case with a layer of rubber which holds in heat. Even though I'm sure this is not going to get that hot, I don't like the idea of having rubber on there. This is going to be in a window. It's going to have sun warmth, and it doesn't get warm when it runs, but I don't want to do that. So the rubber coating is out. The tape is out. I was thinking nail polish, but nail polish might have some chemicals in there that might make it be really sticky, and to remove it would probably be a disaster if I had to. I could tape up the critical areas and then spray paint it with flat black paint, which would probably take no time at all and probably come out really nice. But what I'm going to try, this is a sample thing now. This is just a test. I don't know how this is going to work. I got a whole bunch of Sharpie markers, and I want to see, well, are these flat? Well, that's an important thing. Is it flat, or is it, yeah, I guess it's not really flat. It's not, I don't think a Sharpie's glossy, though. But this is, again, as I said, a test. I'm going to see what happens when I apply some Sharpie to the front of this thing. So if you like my videos, do a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, comment. My channel's just falling apart with the ads lately, so anything you can do to help, hit that notification bell or whatever. You know, that would help me out if you want to. And if you don't, that's okay too. All right, let's test this out, see what happens. So what I did is I put the AC adapters on the bottom so that the cord will have won't be banging into the table, and disconnected all the cables. So let's test this out now. I don't know what it's going to look like. Sharpie usually comes off fairly easy with a with isopropyl, but I don't know what's going to happen. And there's really not that much to clean off. There's a lot of dirt on here. This is just going to be, well, let's try it right around the rim first, and let's see what we get. I really should clean this first, but I'm just going to go right around the outer rim and see what I get, see if this is even something I want to do. Shouldn't be that hard for the average person to use a Sharpie marker. So we've already covered, I don't know how long it's going to last. I will say it's quick. It's very quick. Probably let this dry, apply a couple coats, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come back in about an hour and let you see what the final result is. I know a lot of people are going to say, come on, this is hokey. I really don't want to use spray paint. I don't want to mask things off. I don't want the spray in my nostrils. I don't want to mask up and have that gunk. You know, it sprays and it gets on your arms and the arm hair, and it's just, I don't want to deal with it. Let's see how this works. Here we are with the first one. Is it beautiful? No. Does it accomplish what I want to in a short amount of time? Definitely. Is it going to last long before it starts to fade? I don't know. If it doesn't work, then I'll go clean this up a little bit, and I will do the flat black spray paint. This took me about 10 minutes to do. Very easy, not the most attractive, but when this is sitting in a window, nobody's going to notice. Nobody's really going to see it that much. If this is a problem with the white part over there, then I might try something else. I would probably consider taping on the sides. The pen slipped a couple times on the top and the bottom. And so that was the standard Sharpie, the Sharpie fine point. And that could have something to do with why the ink doesn't really lay down in a big gob, and that's because it's a Sharpie. So now I'm going to try the Sharpie, the Super Sharpie. We're going to try that on the next camera. It's wider. I haven't even used this thing. I don't know if it works. Kind of old. Might not apply too much ink, but let's try the Super Sharpie. They make a flat, like a chisel one, that would probably be really good for something like this. So don't leave me comments saying that looks terrible. I know it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad. This thing, in a window, this is going to accomplish exactly what I needed to accomplish. And if I have to do any more covering with something like this, then I might do the flat black spray paint. Let's see how the Super Sharpie works, and I'll be back. There we go. That's the first line with the Super Sharpie. It's an old pen. It's years old, like 4 years old. The ink is really faded. It's not going to do as good as the regular Sharpie. I'm going to check out my other markers, and then I will continue my video. I tried the fine retractable, and that did not... I tried using the fine retractable, and it did not make it any better. So what I'm noticing is that if you hold the marker down and you let the ink flow and you go really slow, you're going to get much better coverage, at least around the rim. Around the outer part, it's probably not going to flow as well, but let's see what happens. And that is the final That's the final result. Does it look beautiful? No. Did it take me about 10-15 minutes? Yes. Longevity, will it last? I don't really know. But I'm going to be able to go and place this in somebody else's house tomorrow, where I keep some cameras so I can watch outside to make sure everything's safe over there. And I didn't have to buy a can of spray paint and mask everything up. And if I need to, then I'll do that next. But this just took a few minutes. Again, it doesn't look absolutely perfect, but it does exactly what I need, and that's all that matters. So, my suggestion, Sharpie marker, fine point. I think a wider point would probably be better. I don't know what other markers would lay down a layer of black ink that would not flow into the openings of the camera. I know it's waterproof, but this just took seconds to do, minutes to do, and it's doable. So don't leave any rude comments if you have any suggestions, any ideas. Again, I don't want to use the rubber spray. This is going to stay indoors, so definitely don't want the rubber spray for heat, and I don't want to close any of the pores up. And I guess that's it. Let me know what you think. That's the final result. Black electrical tape. Took me a couple minutes to do that. I did not interfere with any of the openings on the back. If you have wider tape, great. If you don't, I'll put a couple pieces on there. It's going to look really good. Nobody's going to notice it. It is not going to be visible through a window compared to having the big white case that everybody can see. On the bottom, I didn't really care about how it looked. I just wanted to get this thing done. Fold it over. Make sure you don't mess with your setup button or your SD card opening. And on the front, here's the big surprise. Here's the big surprise, people. Went and I put some electrical tape around the front. where they did the marker. Yeah, I know you can see a little bit over there. Nobody's going to see this when they're walking up on the driveway like they could before. So electrical tape, definitely an easy way to do this in 5 minutes. Again, I don't want to mess with sprays. Sprays going on my arm, my nostrils, my hands. I don't want to mask anything up. And I don't want to do the same with rubber, the rubber spray, so the rubber coating or sealant. So this is a really easy way to do it. Not the greatest way, but it works. It's simple, takes a few minutes, and it's going to accomplish exactly what you need. And when somebody walks up on a driveway or a walkway, better for them to see nothing than to see this big white case. You could probably do this with paint. If you want to mess with paint, I didn't want to mess with a little paintbrush and flat paint. But this just takes a few minutes, and it's awesome.